Yo, 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 what it do? What it be? It's your boy. It's me, A-N-T, repping the G-A-M-E, G-A-N-G. That's the game, gang. You know we don't play none of that. If you's a lame, you can't hang. All of that. I'm back, separating the fact from the cap, and we're going to be talking about some controversial topics. And I'm just going to preface this with I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just looking at some of these Bible stories from a historical and scientific point of view. I ain't even like a scientist like that, but I do enjoy history, figuring out or looking at some of these ancient texts. I mean, the Bible and other religious texts at times are some of the oldest accounts that we have, and they detail some of our earliest moments in human history. The big problem with these stories are sometimes they are exactly that, though. They just stories. Works of historical fiction that are loosely based on real events, people, and they may even take place in real world settings of the time period. But when these stories aren't told, backed up, or verified by other civilizations that were around during the same era, or even slightly after, or there's no archaeological record of said story that exists outside of the originator, well, then it's not really history at that point, is it? It's just mythology. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so I'm somewhat versed in a lot of Christian stories and teachings. And as I grew older, a lot of the aspects of religion didn't really make sense to me. And as I've matured, I've realized that most of the Bible is cap. I mean, sure, the basic teachings are baselines for morality today, like no stealing or killing, but the historical anecdotes and allegories they use are flawed or just straight up cap. We in big 2025, and this year, I'm exposing and questioning these stories for what they are: pure capery. Now, I've covered Adam and Eve and that whole saga years ago on a past video. I even discussed my beliefs in another one. So if y'all want to check those out, I'll leave a little caption. But let's get into the story of Noah and the famous ark that he built. Now, let me just tell y'all, Noah, for all intents and purposes, had no previous experience in carpentry or boat building. But God came up to bro because, I don't know, God was just walking up to people and wrestling with them and giving them guidance in the Old Testament. And I mean, we don't know why he don't do that anymore, but anyways, he walked up to Noah and he was like, "Hey fam, I appreciate all the prayers and your belief in me, so I'm gonna give you the heads up. I'm gonna flood this bitch. And when I say this bitch, I mean the world." Yeah, God was on some Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold shit, talking about, "Hey Noah, let me tell you and your fam don't come to school tomorrow," type shit. I fuck with y'all. But how or why would God want to destroy the world with a great flood when he could literally just Thanos snap all of the Nephilim and sinners and poof, problem solved? And I mean, what are the Nephilim? Well, those were the offspring of fallen angels which had mated with the women on earth, because I guess there wasn't any baddies in heaven. Kind of weird, right? Might have been like a sausage party, I don't know, but for whatever reason, the whole did it hurt when you fell from heaven pickup line, that gotta be one of the worst pickup lines of all time for this reason alone. If women in heaven were so fine, then why the fuck did angels keep coming down here and impregnating our women? Anyways though, God cast out some of the bad angels that he created, and he cast them out to earth, and whether or not they were aliens or angels is semantics at this point. I mean, both of them came from the sky and probed us one way or the other, right? So the angels were having these evil giant babies called the Nephilim, and they weren't fucking with the word of God. And so God was low-key hating and said, "Hey, y'all can't come down here from heaven and have kids, because I'm going to send Gabriel down here in a couple hundred or 1,000 years with my kid and do pretty much the same thing, except they not going to call my kid Nephilim. They going to call him the fucking Messiah, the savior of the world." So these angel babies and everyone on earth needed to be destroyed. And God decided that a massive flood would for sure be the most effective and efficient way, right? So he pulls up on Noah Dolo. Noah's like 500 years old, no cap. And he was like, hey, tell your fam to help you build, this really big boat, and it's gonna, be bigger than the Titanic. And Moses is like, well, what's the Titanic? And God's like, nah, don't worry about that, fam. We gonna build this big wooden ark. It's made out of mahogany. And oh, by the way, Noah, I know you like 500 years old, but I'm gonna give you like 100 years to build this ark. And even though I could just spawn one like a GTA cheat code, I'm gonna let you take 100 years to build it. But don't trip. When the ark is built and you open the doors, I'm gonna have all the animals just start walking in. It's gonna be lit. I hope nobody notices the influx of exotic animals in the area and doesn't question how they got here or asks to be on the boat they're getting on, because then the story would just be ruined. You feel me, Noah? So Noah builds the ark while Yahweh is importing all these animals, and the Bible is pretty vague about where the dinosaurs were at this point, but it's kind of obvious they weren't on God's VIP list for the ark. Really, the Bible doesn't say which animals specifically made it on. It does say at least 2 of every land creature and 6 of each flying creature, whatever that fucking mean. But the Bible doesn't even mention how or if saltwater and freshwater fish species managed to survive or coexist. Matter of fact, the Bible never really explains how carnivores and herbivores coexisted peacefully, or how animals that would have been in North or South America or even Antarctica made the trek all the way to the Middle East, much less how nobody noticed all of these strange animals gathering around this massive ark. Think about penguins and polar bears in a desert type shit. That shit wild. Imagine a grizzly bear in the Middle East. Nobody noticed? Did the bears ride the whales to get there? Did they have their own little arcs God put them in? How did they get there? But the easy explanation is through God, all things are possible. But again, he got the animals all the way there, all of them, and made them behave. But the Thanos snap was out of the question, right? And then the 100 years of building the ark instead of just spawning one. It just seemed like it's doing a lot. And some people be like, well, he was just trying to give people a chance. He knew nobody was going to get on the ark, though, if you omnipotent or omniscient. But that's a whole nother, caveat. So the Bible said after the ark doors closed with Noah and his family and all the animals inside it, it began to rain. Now, before I get into the whole 40 days and 40 nights thing, Noah supposedly did warn people about the flood. But nobody listened until it was too late. But what is too late? The ark didn't have guards. It didn't have no security system. Nothing, how was there not 50 people trying to get at least on the ark or try and make it in, trying to be a stowaway, castaway, whatever the fuck it's called? People saw the animals all get on and were like, damn, well, we should have listened. Oh, well. It's just crazy to me. You would have to suspend your belief in the people's will to survive at that point. But based on the accounts of Genesis, the flood started on the 17th day of the 2nd month, and after 40 days and 40 nights of straight rain, the waters rise and they receded, and on the 17th or the 27th day of the 7th month, the ark rested on the mountains. And then on the first month of Noah's 601st year, the waters receded almost completely. And on the 27th day of that month, the ark opened up and more plot holes opened up as well, y'all. Let me just tell you. Because Noah spent about a year on the ark, and it's not really known how Noah kept his family and all of these animals fed. I mean, they did have an abundance of floating dead bodies, probably. That could explain how they kept the carnivores fed. But where did they get, where did they store fresh water? How did they get it? They did have an abundance of rainwater, but how did they collect it? How did the herbivores eat? Why didn't the carnivores attack them? Not only that, how did he feed his family again? Storing food was a foreign concept, and Noah was old as fuck. So how exactly were him and his fam getting nutrients? And not to mention, it's only 2 of every species. So now every species is now close to extinct, like more than endangered. Keep that in mind. And assuming, Noah wasn't on Pangea, how exactly did all the animals get back to their respective habitats after the ark opened. See, because when Noah stepped out, God created a rainbow in the sky as a symbol that he would never destroy the earth by flood again. And I guess God's plot hole was that he wouldn't destroy the whole earth, just parts of it. Because either that or Louisiana and Florida are in God's blind spot when he made that promise or something. I don't know. But again, how did the animals get back to their habitats respectively? Who knows? The way genetics and inbreeding works, like I just said, every animal would obviously have a significantly smaller gene pool consisting of just 2 species. And every animal that was on the ark would be considered endangered. Their offspring would be severely inbred. What doesn't make sense to me is if God killed all the giants and Nephilim in the flood, then how the fuck were there giants after the flood? Their bloodline and lineage would have been wiped out. So imagine David and the Israelites surprised when fucking Goliath shows up. God must have been like, damn, these motherfuckers are some good swimmers. Don't worry, little homie David. I'm gonna have you slay this motherfucker with 1 stone, and you gonna be a legend. We gonna talk about more on David in another video and his whole saga. But realistically, the NBA, with the whole lineage of the giants being wiped out, the NBA wouldn't exist today. All these 6 foot and 7 foot motherfuckers and people growing up to 9 feet, that would be an abomination and a miracle at the same time. And I mean, it's in a sense, it's kind of like watching Ben Simmons play. But however, if I could be serious for a minute, giants and tall people, like I said, realistically shouldn't exist. If everyone can be traced through Adam and Noah's lineage, then there shouldn't be giants on Earth anymore. But some people now, since forever, can get tumors on their pituitary glands that can give them extra hormones to make them grow bigger than the average person. So today's giants weren't the offspring of fallen angels. They have a medical condition, or they have being tall in their genes through their parents. But that kind of disproves the whole, everyone comes from Noah and his family story, doesn't it? The even crazier part about all of this is about 500 years after the Great Flood, God supposedly destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah by hellfire. Supposedly because they were doing the same things the last people got flooded for, except this time God sent down angels to Lot and his wife and warned them to get out the city. And people somehow heard that there were angels in Lot's house, and they were trying to get some athlete babies, so they got destroyed, and the cities got turned into ash, and Lot's wife got turned into salt because she turned around and said, damn, this motherfucker got us tripping. I gotta go back and get my purse though. But people like Lot, supposedly, this is what the Bible said, Lot was untainted by the wickedness, and Abraham was the offspring of Shem. But wouldn't the world have been the offspring of Noah's family by chance? It was from some part of Noah's family. Not only that, but between those two stories happening, a Sumerian leader named Nimrod tried to build a tower to heaven, so God changed everyone's language, but that apparently had no bearing on the everybody still spoke the same language, I guess, in the fucking Sodom and Gomorrah, because somehow that didn't affect anything in that story. And nobody explains how a Sumerian king and all his subjects survived the flood, or explains which part of Noah's bloodline Nimrod was from, or how he thought of other gods to worship if everybody else was just worshiping false gods and got destroyed for it. Why is Nimrod, or how did he come up with other gods to worship? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And honestly, neither does Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark sounds like a great children's story, but with the lack of historical evidence, scientific evidence, and the sheer number of plot holes I would have to ignore in order to believe something like that, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that Noah's Ark is nothing but cap. For all of you who say Noah's Ark was found, no, it wasn't. Go take that History Channel bullshit somewhere else. If they actually found the Ark, believe me, someone in Europe would have put that bitch in a museum or put it up in auction yesterday. They would have had that motherfucker on tour like a Rolling Stone type shit. But there's no way, even if we do find it after all these years, that it's even going to be intact. I mean, it was made out of just nothing but wood, supposedly. Unless it was some biblical wood. No Catholic priest, no Diddy. I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and wrap this up now. Hope y'all enjoyed the research, and hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, I got a Moses video coming soon as well, so stay tuned for that. Go ahead and subscribe and ring the damn bell so you don't miss none of the hot content I got dropping soon, so you could stay tuned. Go ahead and leave a like or even comment on the video, or if you have a question or if you could correct me on some things. Again, these are all half biblical and half historical references that I'm choosing from and shit like that, because I thought it was important to get the biblical story first and then get the history behind it. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. Took me a minute. I was just kind of being lazy, but I've also been dealing with, some personal shit outside of the internet. But hope y'all understand. Hope y'all had a happy new year, happy holiday. I still be trying to stream on here, especially because now I don't have my computer at the moment. So I just been kind of streaming and doing everything from my PS5 again on my bare bones. I ain't even got my face cam right now, y'all. But yeah, it's gonna be a couple months before I get everything back up in order, but by the end of the year we should have everything back how we normally was streaming and back to normal, hopefully, whatever that is. But again, thank y'all for the views, and thank y'all for the support of watching the Ants Random Rants I'm uploading on here too. I just be making those just off the top of my head, freestyling, playing some NHL. But go ahead and follow me if you haven't followed me on Twitter already. It's ANT_303. Follow me on Twitch, ANT_GGE. I might be off there for a minute, but I be streaming there and on here most of the time consecutively, or at the same time. I can't think of the fucking word right. Simultaneously. There you go. So again, y'all stay tuned. Got big things coming soon for 2025. More lives, more written content, and yeah. See me, I'm out here trying to beat the big boss of the Ragnarok. We out here. See, I was bound and determined to 100% this game, and I figured after beating her, it was gonna be downhill slide from there. So I had to get her out the fucking way. Got my ass beat a few times, more than a few times, but as you can see, finally gave her the fucking Lil Reese 100 PC combos, But I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and enjoy this last little scene, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Y'all, again, have a good year. Hope y'all have a good day. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's been your boy ANT. Be safe. Don't get smoked. I'm out. Peace.
I wronged you, and I cannot change that. Never apologizing enough for it. But the hatred, vengeance, you have to let it go. Finish it. Yes, sister.
Freya, I'm sorry it came to that.
I gave her what she wanted, but
So then, how's it feel being Queen of the Valkyries once more?
Queen. Why? There are no Valkyries left.
The Shield Maidens. Were you not